Assalamu alaikum and peace be unto you. This is a book reading of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad book, How to Eat to Live, Book 1, pages 17 through 21. From God in Person, Master Farad Muhammad, by Elijah Muhammad, Messenger of Allah. How to Eat to Live, Book 1. Today's reading will be Chapters 5 and 6, Chapter 5, the pig, swine, and Chapter 6, fasting. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. The pig, swine. I think we have said enough about the poisonous animal called, in Arabic, khanzar. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, the swine is the filthiest and foulest animal human beings could have resorted to for food. The flesh of the swine, while cooking, has a very different smell from that of other animals' flesh while cooking. And even when it is not being cooked, it has a bad smell. Worms and insects take to its flesh while in the former's curing stage faster than any other animal's flesh. And in a few days, it is full of worms. In many cases, the eater of the flesh becomes nauseated when the flesh is being cooked in the early morning. It is a divinely prohibited flesh, and God Allah has prohibited you and me, my brothers and sisters of the black nation, from eating it or even touching its dead carcass. Please, for our health's sake, stop eating it. For our beauty's sake, stop eating it. For our obedience to God and His laws against this flesh, stop eating it. For a longer life, stop eating it. And for the sake of modesty, stop eating it. Do you know that if we, the 22 million lost found members of our nation here in America, would stop eating this pig, his poisoned swine flesh, it would mean a great economic saving to us. And do not think the government would be so eager to eat it themselves if we would obey this divine law against this divinely prohibited flesh. There is an old, foolish answer our people have given to such advice. The white folks eat it, and my grandparents ate it, and they lived to be 75 and 80 years old. If Noah and Methuselah had heard you boasting that your parents lived only 75 or 80 years eating poison, they would have considered your parents as never having grown up to become adults, according to their good way of eating the best food, about twice a week, and living nearly 1,000 of our present calendar years, which consist of 365 days. God does not punish us for the crime of disobedience to His laws when we are ignorant of His laws. But after knowledge of His laws, He is justified in punishing us by setting the full penalty according to the disobedience. As I have previously said in this book, most vegetables that are sold on the public market are good to eat with the exception of those Allah prohibits, such as collard greens and the rough turnip salads. You have plenty of other vegetables to eat, and you have good beans other than lima beans, field butter beans called baby lima beans, and black-eyed peas, field peas as we call them. Chapter 6, Fasting. Fasting is a greater cure of our ills, both mental and physical, than all of the drugs of the earth combined into one bottle or a billion bottles. Allah God, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, has taught me that fasting with the right kind of food is the cure for our ills. He has said to me that there is no cure in drugs and medicine, and this the world is now learning. We can take medicine all of our lives until it kills us, yet we are still ailing with the same old diseases. The bad foods and drinks that we are putting into our bodies keep us a victim to illness. There are very few nice doctors who like to tell you that drugs are not good for you because they pay for their learning and want to keep practicing. But how to eat to live is what we want to know and have wanted to know all of our lives. All men and women want to know how they can prolong their lives. Nature teaches us to stay here in this life as long as we can. Nature has never taught anyone that he should leave this life and find another one somewhere else, because we only have one life. And if this life is destroyed, we would have a hard time trying to get more life. It is impossible. So try to keep this life that you have as long as possible. Go when you cannot stay here any longer. Allah taught me that one meal a day would keep us here for a long time. We would live over 100 years. Eating one meal every 2 days would lengthen our lives just that much longer. He said to me that you would never be sick eating one meal every 3 days. The fact that fasting is the cure for 90% of our ills is known by the medical scientists, but they do not teach you that. They know that tobacco, hard whiskey, and alcohol are not good for you and will shorten your life and kill you. But most of them are too weak themselves to stop drinking, smoking, or chewing tobacco. So they do not teach you that tobacco and alcoholic drinks made into what is known as whiskey, beer, and wine are not good for you, although they know it to be true. They will say, yes, it is good for you if you are temperate. But they know that once you get started on that stuff, it is such an enemy that it just takes you into its power. And it is almost like trying to break an iron chain to get away from the habit. So do not use tobacco in any form. You will live a few years yet longer. Fast once a month for 3 days, 4 days, or for whatever length of time you are able to go without food, without harming yourself, and you will feel good. Did you know that if you would stop eating pig and the food that you should not eat, stop eating 3 and 4 times a day, and stop drinking whiskey, beer, and wine, you would save much in the way of money. In prolonging your life by abstaining from the pig, alcoholic drinks, and tobacco, you will also be adding money to your savings by hundreds and thousands of dollars. You will be depriving those pig raisers, tobacco growers, and alcoholic distillers of millions of dollars of which they rob you as they hasten you to your grave. You could stop the tobacco growers from growing that stinking weed by turning away from the use of it. And you could stop the pig raising by not eating the stinking hog. These things are death to your children and their early ages. They even affect the reproductive organs of people in early ages, as well as affect the heart, lungs, and sharpness in thinking. And after all of this, you die a victim of poison and commercialization. Learn to eat to live. This concludes the reading of chapters 5 and 6, the pig, swine, and chapter 6, fasting. How to Eat to Live, Book 1. Thank you so much for reading and listening with me. Like, subscribe, and share the channel. To order your books by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, go to store.finalcall.com and also listen to the Final Call Radio, which has the inspirational lectures, teachings, and music of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. My last remarks, I hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day, and of course, every day is Mother's Day. So give our mothers flowers while they live. Personally, my mother passed away at a young age of 56, so please enjoy our mothers while they live. Until then, next time, please enjoy yourselves, enjoy your day, be safe, and may Allah bless you all. Thank you so much for listening. Until then, stay tuned. Peace.